From Perth, Australia, and broadcasting around the world, you're listening to The O Show with your host, Oren McCory. The O Show is a no-nonsense podcast bringing you the best advice on training, mindset, and nutrition to supercharge your efforts in the gym, the kitchen, and most importantly, in your head. Don't forget to share this episode on your social media. Now, let's get to it.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, guys. Welcome to today's episode of The O Show. Today we have a special friend of mine all the way from Scotland. So if there's a slight lag or slight delay, please bear with us. We have my good friend Chris Irvine from Nitrafit on the line. How are you today, Chris?
Good, big guy. How are you?
Yeah, very good, man. Very good. We've done 2 podcasts in a row and we're ramping up towards the 52 episodes in 1 year. So we're going to have you on again next week, actually. So you'll be, people will be very used to this before long. But mate, what we wanted to talk about today, it's going to be very, very chilled. We don't have any sort of a script or anything. What we're going to do is just talk about you and how your business has transitioned since the last time you were on, probably last May time. It was episode 4 of the podcast. We talked about mindset and building a community because that's what you do with your business. It was boot camp based. Now you've sort of transitioned and you've just said, like, over the past lockdown, you guys have been in over there, that you're going to go into business mentoring, and you've made a very huge dent in the Scottish market. I would say you're probably the biggest Scottish fitness mentor at this moment in time. And that's pretty huge for somebody who's just put their hand to this out of, you know, a bit of passion, like during lockdown. So let's talk about that and where you're at now with the business in terms of Nitrafit.
Yeah, mate. So I think the last time we spoke, it was obviously the boot camp and the gym that was kind of running. Were we in lockdown then?
I think, yeah, it was last May.
Yeah, so at that point, the lockdown was all fresh and new, so we were just getting used to being on Zoom, being used to like transitioning the business online, and then the gyms opened back up again mid-lockdown in Scotland. I know it's different in Australia. You guys have got it sussed over there. So when we went back into that second lockdown, it was more like, that sounds terrible, but because I've got coaches and got a team, I was getting a wee bit bored because I wasn't getting to do any work really. So I've been doing the mentoring stuff for about a year with my own clients, so I never really put online or spoke about or just made a big deal about it. I was just working behind the scenes, growing their businesses. So I thought to myself, this is a brilliant opportunity now to, during this lockdown, when my coaches are taking care of the Zooms, I'm just taking care of like businesses. The top part of the business, which isn't a lot just now because it's in lockdown. So I'm just a chance to scale this and do what I'm really passionate about, take it to another level. So I spoke to my business partner Josh and said, how do you feel about scaling this mentorship stuff that I've kind of been doing myself? And he's like, let's do it. And then within like 2 hours of that chat, as usual, it was a case of, was that beating? Sorry, mate. Do you hear that?
Nah, I don't hear it.
My computer? Sorry, mate, I'll ruin your podcast. Sorry, guys, there's a beating noise on my ears for Facebook. And so Josh was like, yeah, mate, I'll sort a logo. He sorted a Nitrafit business logo straight away. We got a post ready. Josh started contacting coaches who have been liking our stuff, sharing our stuff, and just took it for them, mate. And within a space of about 2 weeks, we had our first 30-day challenge running, which is literally just like, we bring coaches in for 30 days and show them how we can grow their business in 30 days. It just gives them an opportunity to see how we work, because the authority wasn't there in a sense of nobody knew I was mentoring, so I didn't have this big presence online of like, Chris Irvine's the guy who's really good at taking businesses far for coaches. So we had to think of a strategy that was, how do we attract eyes in when nobody really knows we do mentoring? So we made the Instagram page, and we just contacted coaches who'd liked the stuff on that page before when it was a fitness page. I just told them we're doing we called it a 1K and 30-day challenge. So that was the way to draw people in at a low barrier fee, which is always a good way to do business. So offer them a fee that's not overly priced. It's just a nice price for them to invest, and then show them what we can do in that 30 days. It's just went crazy, mate. As you said, it's highly successful in the last, it's only been 3 months.
Yeah, that's pretty good. And for the Aussies listening to this, like 1K British pounds is probably about $1,800 in our money. So to go from like you invest a little bit of money to earning potentially an extra $2,000 Aussie. Like that's a big jump for a lot of people, especially if they're struggling, especially those guys in lockdown, mate. So no doubt you were making a big impact with that straight away when people maybe they're trying to go solo, they're, you know, not prioritizing their time well, they're doing low value tasks and they don't really have the confidence to grow this business. It's a big impact you can have straight away, right?
Yeah, mate, I can give you a couple of examples. I'll give you an example of one of the girls who came on board. And she's been a PT for about 2 years. She works in a gym in Glasgow that's, I want to say it's Extreme Gym, but it's not. It's Future Fitness actually. And she's got a business in the gym, but it's not open just now. But she wanted to have an online business, a proper online business, not one that she just transferred the clients over to just now for lockdown. So I said, right, okay, how much are you charging? £20 a month, British pounds for online PT. So I was like, right, that's not happening. So I based her pricing on confidence. I said, how confident are you selling this online business just now? Like, and she's like, not very. So I said, give me a scale 1 to 10. 0 being like you've no confidence, 5 being your semi-confidence, 10 being super confident, right? So that's how I based our pricing. I says if it's 0 confidence, the minimum you're going to charge is £97 a month. That's the minimum. If you've got semi-confidence, we'll go up at 127, and if you get high confidence, we'll go 150 or above, right? And I'll just try to give you a bit of context here. She's like, oh Chris, I don't even know if I can sell it at £97. So lo and behold, mate, if she's listening to this, she'll know who she is. Within the space, and this is no me bragging by the way, I'm just giving you context. Within the space of the first 14 days of the 30 days, she had 16 new online clients paying her £97 British pounds.
Beautiful.
In 16 days, mate. So
that's killer.
Now, was that my super special tactics? It wasn't, mate.
No.
What I did was give her confidence in her service. So we looked at her service and I said, look at the results you get with people. Look how much engagement you get on Instagram, how people pure love your stuff. All you've did is not do the right call to action and the right kind of pain post at the right time. She hadn't made a sale. She started in March, I'm sure. She hadn't made a sale the whole of 2021, mate. Not one single sale.
Wow.
And she started and made 16.
Wow.
And again,
that's massive.
I'm not here to pretend that I'm some genius guru, because that's not what I am, mate. It's just, I don't believe that there is a super complex way for business to run. I believe it's always simple.
Yeah.
Business is always simple, mate. So I just looked at her as a situation and said, right, what's missing here? Because she's getting a lot of engagement. It's confidence, self-belief in her product. Once I managed to drill that into her and she sold her first 97, it just skyrocketed for there. I never really changed much, mate. So I'm not here to pretend that I changed all this stuff around. I helped her with paying posts. I helped her understand her target market more, because she wanted to train, she said, really young girls with this and that. And then I looked at her clientele and I looked at who she currently trains in the gym, and it didn't fit. So we've worked on that a wee bit, but again, it's not magic. It's just a case of figuring out who she really wants to train, putting a bit of self-belief in there, and then using the right call to action post at the right time, and straight away. It was like just a case of in that 14 days, she made the 16 online clients. She's doubled that now, mate.
That's epic. That's really good, man. And coming into now where that gym will be opening again in the next 2 weeks for you guys. Hopefully she's got a solid business that's the backbone now online. Plus she can decide, you know, how much she wants to go back to the gym and maybe have a bit more freedom, which is huge.
It's amazing, mate. I think we should talk about that. I think we should talk about today how a lot of PTs and coaches and even our mentors think there's this secret to business.
Yeah.
But I think what we've discovered, mate, over being with several different mentors ourselves and investing in ourselves a lot, especially you, mate, you've probably invested quadruple what I've invested in the last, since I've known you, like all those years ago. And I think sometimes we're promised this kind of the secret to this and the secret way to do that, but I don't think there's a secret, mate. I think business can be really simple. And I think one of the keys is you have to be enjoying it as well, mate.
Yeah.
Because we can give examples without going into detail about names and groups of people and certain mentors, but if we're being honest with ourselves, mate, sometimes the mentor groups that we've been in, it feels a wee bit stressful. It doesn't feel business isn't fun and business isn't enjoyable. And if you're not feeling passionate about business at that time, it's probably going to reflect on your service and on how you treat people and how you deal with yourself as well.
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to kind of touch on, not in detail on names, but your experience of how you felt at certain times when you were doing certain things with maybe certain mentors.
Yeah, 100%. So like I've had probably a different mentor every year for a good few years now, and it's always good to mix things up. But what I found was with one guy, filled me with loads of confidence in my service, really built everything up. My retention was super high at that stage, but I was definitely undercharging. Like looking back, it was a price that I would say would be an entry level online rate now. So about $240 a month, which is about that 97 mark, probably about 120 probably actually pounds. So like for me, that's like, if you need on service, that's like an entry level price. So no wonder people stay with me so long, because I was giving them a really fucking good deal. I'll give them everything they needed for that price. And then I went with a new coach who taught me a lot about confidence with selling and packaging everything up and making it irresistible to the client. But at that stage, I kind of went down the rabbit hole of seal, like income, like what I had. I was just chasing that number of income wise, and I wasn't focusing on the service. And as we know, like the number you make means fuck all really if the people aren't happy and people keep leaving. So it's finding that sort of balance between the two, which I find is really good. And that's kind of where I'm at now, where I'm now kind of doing my own thing. I've got input. Like I've got you as a good mate. We talk for fucking every week. We talk multiple times a week, sometimes every day if it's a big week.
Yep.
And I've got a little bit of like extra consulting work that I'm doing with other people. And it's like just finding that right fit in terms of getting advice from people while still remaining true to the coach that you are. And I think that's the key, is like you got to find the balance between service and income and freedom. Well, especially for me, because like every Thursday, we're recording this on a Wednesday. Tomorrow, I'll spend the whole day with Evie. I'll do work before she wakes, when she's napping, and when she goes to bed. Yeah. And like the rest of the day is just where I can go. I can have an ice cream at the beach with her. I can take her to the play park. I can fucking take her to see. We went to the theater last week, which was really fun. It's like all these things that we can do as a result of giving the service on the other days and being real dialed in. So for me, like growing the business is not just in the income, it's into how many people I can affect while still having that freedom, which is massive.
Yeah, that's it, mate. That is a fine balance, and I think we've probably learned something for every mentor, mate. There's no point in denying that. Yep. It's not like we've had any shit mentors. We've had
100%.
And they all gave us different things. I think one of the mentors that we are both talking about definitely helped us with sales, mate. I think if I wasn't in that group, I would never have had the vision to set a good price, which I probably wouldn't believe would be true, if that makes sense, because I'd be like, oh, I don't know if we can charge that. Because if you're only at a level where, say, we were working in Bath Street as PTs, all we had there was the vision of everybody else in Bath Street if we didn't have a mentor, because you can only work with what you can see around you. If you don't know there's other PTs out there who are running businesses in different ways for you, and mentors who can give you different ideas and different strategies, then all you're left with is that same vision that everybody else around you is doing, and you might be the guy that's charging £35 and there's another PT charging £25 a session, but in reality it's not much difference.
Yeah.
So I think we've probably took something for all our different mentors, mate, and that's why it is probably important to have mentors. It doesn't have to be consistently, you need to have one every year, but it's probably a good idea to have them more often than not.
Yeah, 100%, mate. And it's like when we have clients, right? Clients leave us and they go to another coach. Like that's not necessarily a bad thing. It just means that that coach has something that you can't provide, or they've got slightly different methods. And that's not to say that every coach that we've had hasn't had a big impact on us. Of course they have. It's just that after a while, you kind of maybe crave something different, or something changed in you that maybe, like for me, it's because I wasn't sales focused, and instead of being big focused in sales, I wanted to focus on building the service and the recurring income rather than selling big packages. I was getting stressed selling those, and then my income dropping down. I'd go from, like, let's throw some numbers out. This isn't the brag, but it's just to show where we were at. Like I would have a month where I was to get 20K of sales in, with recurring clients plus new clients paying me for a package up front. But then after that drops off, you got your recurring clients maybe at 6, 7, 8K, whatever it is. And then you're like, oh, fuck, for me to get back up to that number, I've got to get another 12 clients this month paying me up front for that package. And it's just fucking stressful. I would rather focus on service, focus on delivering to those clients who are in, making sure they're getting a good service. And as a result, the coaching business grows.
That's it, mate. I think I've always been a massive fan of the monthly recurring income. So for any coaches listening, I know a lot of coaches or mentors and other PTs out there are pushing those big transactions that maybe go 90 days or 6 months or whatever, and it's always good to have. I do verbal agreements with people when they join the gym and stuff, mate. I'm not looking to tie anybody down, and I'm not saying it's bad if you do, guys. I'm just giving you my opinion. There's no right and wrong here, but for me, I just need a verbal commitment, mate, because at the end of the day, if somebody doesn't want to work with me and they agreed to 6 months, I'm not going to chase them down. I know that probably sounds terrible, mate, but I'm just not that kind of guy. I don't need to be either forcing somebody to continue to train with me when I'm not enjoying it for whatever reason that is, or asking them for the rest of the money for a service that I'm not going to give them.
Yeah.
I know there'll be people sitting thinking, listening to this going, that guy's mental. But that's just the way I see it. I'm so confident in the service I'm delivering month on month that I know these guys and girls are going to stay anyway.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah,
so I'm really
100%.
confident in what I'm doing, that I'm thinking I'm not going to leave because I'm delivering a quality service. I'm over delivering.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm quite happy with the monthly current with a verbal agreement that their goals are going to take at least 90 days, 6 months or a year, depending on what they tell me when we speak during the consultation.
Yeah, 100%.
So I don't know if that makes sense, mate, but I love the recurring monthly, and you can see the business growing properly instead of having those volatilities of like zigzagging in terms of you sell a 1,200 package in British pounds, whatever that is, Australian dollars for the guys listening, and then it's boom, back down here.
Yeah.
And that just gives you 1 month you're buzzing, the next month you're back feeling stressed, and then you're, like you said, before you know it, you're just chasing sales.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
you're chasing sales, you're missing a lot to do with your current service, and you start to treat clients like, oh, they're not committed enough, they're not, and you start actually demonising them for the things that you maybe didn't do good enough to make sure that they're successful.
Yeah,
It's their fault.
exactly. And I think as well, and when you're in that mindset of selling big tickets, it's very easy to get caught up in the sales and then like just, I don't know, get too bogged down in the stuff that probably doesn't really matter, like, right? And taking maybe the wrong fits into your program, and then they leave after a month, and you're going through all this extra stress, whether it's refunds, whether it's, arguing with them over, when they're going to quit if you sold them for that big program. But it's because you're focused on just getting them in on the call, and it's like, oh, hang on, like, are you being ethical, and are you actually making sure they're the right fit, that they can afford it, that they're going to gel with you? That's what a sales call in brackets is meant to be for. It's like, are they happy with you? Are you happy with them? Are they going to do the work? Do both of us know what's expected by the other person? And then it's like, right, cool, this is how much it is to work for me. The sales bit is like the last 5 minutes at the end of a maybe 30-minute or 40-minute call, right?
That's it, mate. It's that point, so it should almost be, the sales call's not even a sales call, it's just a getting over the line call, because you've already established what's going to happen, what's required through a wee bit of communication before that, and the call's almost like a formality.
Yeah.
So when I get in a call with people now, mate, if it's from Facebook ads, it's pretty much they've read the copy's got the price in it, the copy's got everything that's required in it, what they're going to do, what they're going to get, how they're going to feel, and then they do a form, which again establishes more qualified leads, if you want to call it that. So they're going through all these questions, and it's asking them stuff that's going to see if they're committed to the program. So by the time they filled that form in, and I've got their application, and I'm looking at it, I'm thinking they've already went through reading all the copy, applying, looking at the bridge page, going out to the type form, watched the thank you video, tried to get in the Facebook group. They've already made 4 or 5 commitments at that point in time.
Yeah.
So when I'm on the phone with them, mate, it's pretty much, I'm just making sure, I just ask them a couple of questions to make sure they're definitely ready to commit. And then it's just a case of like, they already know the price, and I'm just like, are you ready to go, basically? And they're always like, yeah. Like I said, for the gym wise, say my last 47 sales calls, I've signed up 46 people, and the 47th one I literally had to tell her that it wasn't for her because she was so COVID paranoid that I thought, even no matter how safe we are, something's going to happen, because it could just be a member like crossed over the path and got too close, and she just freaks out. So I was just like, look, you're probably better either working out from home or going to a gym that's like maybe super massive and you've got your own space somewhere in the corner.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I was just touching on the point there that the funnel from the ads to the call is so complete that when you get them on that call, it's pretty much they know what's happening, so you're not trying to force them to cry and make them upset and touch on the pain points too much, because they've already been through that process of
100%.
qualifying themselves.
And let's talk a bit about funnels, because like since the boom of ClickFunnels and Russell Brunson, or whatever you call the guy who runs it, Like everyone is like funnel. That's what coaches sell now. It's like yes, you need to have some sort of a funnel of like basic outline of what people's journey might be and what they might go through. But what do you think about these coaches who sell based off, I've got the perfect funnel, this is what's going to fucking triple your business, 100K a month, all this bullshit?
That's just nonsense, mate. Like I said, don't get me wrong. Like, our funnel works amazingly well, mate, but at the same time, don't think that these people aren't checking your organic Instagram or your organic Facebook once they see your ad, because they are. And if you put a dynamite ad out to coaches, say, to sign them up to be a mentor, to be a coaching client for them, they're definitely going to check your Instagram, your Facebook, to make sure you're legit. Because anybody can put a good advert out there, mate. It's not hard.
Yeah.
And once that's done, they're not just going to commit to something that they're not going to do a bit of due diligence on, to make sure that you're the real deal.
Yeah.
There is a lot of scam artists out there, mate. It's a fact, and it's sad to say it. I don't like. You get these other mentors, and they're always going on about these 6-figure dickheads and all this. But see, in reality, mate, I'm not interested in any of those other mentors or 6-figure dickheads. But they are out there. There's no point denying it. But I don't waste energy thinking about them, talking about them, slagging them off. Their integrity is massively compromised, and they must know that when they go to bed at night. So I don't waste energy on them. But they are out there, guys. So anybody that's listening, all I would say is, do your homework on a coach. If you're going to get mentored by someone, do your homework on them first.
Yeah,
Don't just
100%.
get attracted to the sexy ad that's telling you could build a 6-figure business in 30 days.
Yeah.
Because that's like, it probably has happened before, but it's quite freakish if it happens.
Yeah, exactly, mate. And like, I think the coaches that I've had have always been people that I've followed for a long time. Like, I'm liking their content or whatever they say. They'll talk to me on a podcast or in a post, and something will vibe with me to be like, fuck, maybe I should talk to this guy. That's where I think the best results have came, like where I'm invested in that person rather than like an ad saying, you know, oh, my funnels generate you 100K business in 90 days. Like that is that's a seriously flawed business thing to expect that you can grow there. Because you might be able to sell off a funnel, but also if the service isn't there and you haven't done the groundwork, and you know you're expecting to go from 0 to 100K in 90 days, there's something really wrong.
That's not going to happen, mate. I mean, it probably has happened. In fact, I know it's happened, mate, because I've seen it like with my own eyes, but it's very, 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 very rare, and it takes a lot of hard work, mate. It doesn't take let's just say, I'll give you a scenario that may or may not have happened, right? For the mentorship to build to a 6-figure business in the space of 90 days, right? The Nitrafit one. It didn't take. It took a lot of chat with a lot of coaches and a lot of knockbacks and a lot of conversations. It didn't just happen with a Facebook ad. Everybody's just going to click on it and sign up. It takes hours and hours and hours of chatting with all different coaches and getting trust and buy-in and everything like that. But again, to repeat that would probably be impossible. Not impossible, but you're talking about a 1% chance, mate. It's a lot of hard work and grit. Yeah,
exactly. And a lot of confidence, right? Because you couldn't sell so many people into the program. I think you said like 30 or 40, mid 40s, nearly maybe 50 people in. Like that amount of people that since you started this a few months ago to come in and have that impact, that only comes from confidence in what you're selling, confidence in the process and what you can actually deliver, and you know that buy-in from that person, right? And you don't get that from a single ad.
It's impossible, mate. You can't get buy-in and trust. The only people, a lot of people that respond to ads, mate, is the people who are probably in a lot of pain and your ad talks to them. So it's not a bad thing, because some people are desperate for the help, and that's where your integrity's got to come in, mate. Because you've got to. The reason that I'm happy to sell it to people through ads and stuff like that, anything that I sell, is because I know for a fact when I bring them into my business, my integrity is good. And I'm going to look after them, and I'm going to do my absolute best to help them change either their lives if it's a fitness client, or their business if it's a business client. The amount of time I've committed to people who don't even pay me, mate, because I just love helping people, shows that as well. Do you know what I mean? It's not like you're the same kind of guy as me, mate. We go out our way to give value to people and help change their lives. And if they want to come along and join your business, then happy days, but we're not going to ask them. It's a case of, mate, I'm here to help. I mean, I'm here to help you, especially if you're mates, if you know somebody quite well, or they used to be a client, or somebody you've had a wee bit of connection with. I just like to help people, mate. It's not a case of like, I'll help this guy long enough, then he'll pay me for it.
Yeah, 100%, man, 100%. And what would you say is the key component to success with all these guys who come in, right? They're coming in maybe low confidence, not really have a clue about where to grow their business or what to do. What would you say would be the key components that are missing, or the key things that mentoring can instill with somebody?
Genuinely, hands down, 99% self-belief, confidence.
Yep.
And you can cover that over all the topics. So self-belief and confidence in pricing, self-belief and confidence in the product, self-belief and confidence in what they're posting on Instagram and Facebook. So self-belief and confidence comes in everywhere. So it's mindset, mate. I know it always sounds cliche, but it comes back to mindset. What goes on in between your 2 ears is what is going to change people. And I think that's the one thing that I know you're good at, mate. 100%, I've seen it, and I know I'm good at. That's where we probably thrive, is the mindset thing, mate. We show up consistently, and we know how to change people's mindsets. So for a lot of these people, like the girl I spoke about earlier, it was just a lack of self-belief. She had all the tools were already there. So when you mix the self-belief with a couple of wee strategies, mate, and I don't like going on about strategies and systems, but they're good. Systems work perfectly, but if you give a top quality system to somebody with a poor mindset, is it going to work?
Yeah, exactly.
It's not going to work, mate. If you had a really terrible mindset, mate, right, and you were terrible implementing, and you always said you were going to do this and do that, you've done none of it, right? You just didn't really apply yourself. If I give you the best system in the world to get sales and marketing really good and leads, you probably won't use it.
Yeah.
Because you're not switched on between the ears, mate. You're not ready to implement. So any key component is probably self-confidence. But let's touch on other stuff just to add, because that sounds too easy to say that. So if we're talking about the technical stuff, mate, and then we've got to look at the sales and marketing, because no matter what anybody says, right, delivery of service is key as well. But you can't deliver a service to somebody who's not in your business. It's impossible. They don't exist, right? So you see people are always going on about like results this and results that, and you're like, well, who are you going to get results from, mate, if you can't get people in the door?
Yeah.
So sales and marketing's got to be massive, mate. Now, the way I simplify it to everybody that comes on board, I've got a couple like non-negotiables. One is you need to show up daily on your Instagram. Now, it doesn't need to be a fresh post of like on your grid every day. It could be like you commit to 3 posts on your grid for the week, but you show up in stories every day. Now, it doesn't have to be a super long story. It could be something just educational, something about you, something about your demographic that's going to help them. I always ask the question, I say to them, so if you were really struggling, right, you say to me, Chris, I'm struggling for content. I'll just say, here's a wee strategy I used yesterday with a girl who's just brand new. She's like, Chris, I don't know what to post. I said, right, who's your demographic? She said, females who want to lose fat. Right, the usual. I didn't want to dig in too much back, she's just new. I said, right, get a blank bit of paper and write that right in the middle. Female fat loss. So you can circle it. So she circled it, right, cool. I said, like, draw a branch off it. Tell me something that people struggle with. Females will struggle with for fat loss. Okay. Self-confidence. Cool. Right, self-confidence off that branch, circle it. They make another branch off the middle. What else? Time-based. They might think they've not got enough time. Okay, write time down. Cool. Make another branch. Yep. And I said another one. She said nutrition. Probably struggles with food. Right, nutrition down. Then I said another one. She picked 4. Right, I always try and get them about 4. And I said to her, do you use Amazon for deliveries? She said, yep. I said, why? She said, it's convenient. I said, yep. I've asked 100 PTs that and they all said convenient. I want everybody on your social media to know you for these 4 things here. You're going to be the girl that helps females who think they're lacking time. You're going to help females who think they yo-yo dieting all the time, they're struggling with nutrition. You're going to help females who struggle with self-confidence. That's all you need to be known for. So all I want you to do now is branch off those 4 pain points with different ideas. So I'll say nutrition-wise, so around nutrition, I want you to put branches off that now. So what kind of things do you struggle with nutrition? Fad diets, don't know what to eat, calories. So now she's got 4 or 5 different posts coming off the nutrition part, and then everywhere, mate. So in fact, I could, if you guys are going to watch it on this camera, I can show you a quick picture that you might see to give you an idea what I mean. So see, within the space of 10 minutes on that call where she had like about 50 ideas, and here's what she said. Quite buzzing after I've done it. I feel like I've went from having no clue what to post to having so many options to have posts for a good few weeks now. And you can see our wee spider diagram on the screen here. See
Yep.
I mean, it's a bit fuzzy, but look at all the ideas for content.
Yeah, it's loads on there, man.
Girl had 0 ideas what to post, and then within 10 minutes, that's what she had ideas to post on.
Yeah.
Right, so if we're talking about, you asked about the key component, mate. Now, if you've not got a strong Instagram or Facebook, then nobody's going to look at your shit, nobody's going to like your shit, nobody's going to buy your shit. So that was just one wee part there of a strategy and I made that up, mate. Nobody showed me that. That all happened through. I was on the phone with somebody one time. Now, I might have seen it subconsciously somewhere, mate. I probably did, right? And they were talking about content ideas, and then in my head, I was like, right, put it down in the middle of the paper. This was about 2 months ago. And then it just went for there, mate, and I've been using it consistently, and it works an absolute treat.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the value you get from, because I know a lot of mentors, they don't like to do one-to-one calls with people, but I love that shit. That's my favourite part of it, mate. Like, it's no scalable, and I'm like, well, too bad then. I'm just going to give value to 50 people at the one time then.
Yeah,
200 who don't get my time. Because I'm learning on these phone calls as well. When I'm on these phone calls, mate, I'm literally like solving problems for myself and the person on the spot. I'm literally like, fuck, that was brilliant, Irvine, well done, mate. Use that next time. Because they're presenting me with an opportunity to learn something about that current situation at the time. And just boom, and it's evolved for them, mate. And like you seen me Melanie yesterday, she's just got all the ideas straight away, mate.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know what you think about that, mate. What's your kind of take on the main component to be successful?
I think one thing I was going to touch on was like that sense of overwhelm or whatever you call it, where people just get so inside their own head about whether it is what to post or whether it is me freaking out about, making the next 10 sales for that month to make up that number, or whether that is that number that somebody is focusing on. People quite easily get overwhelmed. Like for me, I like to just do what I like to do for service. I'll catch up on some trainings or I'll learn something new pretty much every week. But like, if I've got too much on my plate in terms of like, if you're my coach, for example, and you're like, go watch this content, here's another thing, like catch up on all this, and I've already got so much service to deliver, plus I want family time, that can be overwhelming. But overwhelm is different for every person, and it's a case of finding out why you're getting overwhelmed by it. Can you get around it, or can you just talk to somebody about how you can deal with it? Like that girl, she was overwhelmed about the thought of posting, but within 10 minutes she had fucking 50 ideas of what to do. So overwhelm is something we can easily get around, but it's something that can cause us to put the brakes on very, very quickly in our businesses and in any aspect of our life, whether it's physique based, family based, whatever, right? If you're overwhelmed about having a baby, you're going to fucking stress about having a baby. If you're overwhelmed about starting reaching out to a coach, you're going to be overwhelmed with that. If you're overwhelmed with content, you just need to find a way around it and work out why it is that it's overwhelming you. Is it because you're not prioritizing the task? Is it because something's been built up in your head, or you're focusing on the wrong things? There's so much we can do, but overwhelm is probably the biggest killer of people, because it's not really, it's just with not having the foresight of what to do next. That's why you stall, because you're not clear about what's next.
That's it, mate. And you touched on it there, mate. You hit the nail on the head, and you said they're not prioritising the right tasks. So again, I'll just give an example with me and you here. If you said, Chris, I'm really overwhelmed, mate, I'd be like, right, cool. What's the one thing you can do today, mate, that's going to make a difference to your business? And once you've done it, you'll be satisfied, and then you just put the rest to bed now. Or I'd say, I'm about to go on a phone call at 8 o'clock with one of my coaches who texted me yesterday, and he sent me a big list of shit that he thinks he's got to do.
Yep.
And I says, right, mate, we're on call tomorrow, 8 UK time. I said, do me a favour, prioritise that big list you've given me now in order of 1 to however many things are on the list. I think it's about 14, right? And I'm like, prioritise them within the most important to the least important. Go and do the most important one today, get your phone off and get to your bed, and then we'll talk about the rest of it tomorrow on the call. So I'm going to talk to him today, and then we're just going to sort it out, because a lot of it he thinks is important, but it's not important right now.
Yeah. That's perfect, man. Like, and that's a big thing, like, right, bulletproofing the numbers and being like, right, 1, 2, 3, like this is my most important thing for the day. If it's client check-ins, you get that. Or maybe you've got a theme for each day where it's sales on a Saturday, it's check-ins on a Monday and Wednesday, it's, maybe PT clients in the gym on a Tuesday and Thursday, whatever the theme is. Like if you've got a full theme there where right, my focus today is check-ins. Check-ins today, check-ins this day, and then maybe you do all your sales calls on one day, or you do all your marketing on one day, or you plan your week on one day. Like the more you have those sort of theme days, the more you can thrive, because you know what your focus is for the day, right? It's like today, I woke up, I had to go physio, I had to catch up with an old client, I had to do 2 podcasts. Like that's literally my focus for today. I don't need to do any check-ins because they're all done for whoever sent me them. I don't have any programs to do. It's literally just get this content out, because my big goal is to get these 52 done by the anniversary. So get these 2 done today, get them scheduled, ready to go out, and then the rest is just my time to do whatever.
That's it, big guy. It's a case of it's overwhelms probably a lack of planning.
Yeah.
I mean, it is a lack of planning, and like you said, a lack of focus. So all that's happened to the boy I'm going to talk to today is he got a lot of new stuff put on him yesterday, and then he just freaked out and didn't really sit down and go, right, where am I going to put this into my week?
Yeah.
Where am I going to put all this shit into my week? And then once you put it down in a Google Calendar or your notepad or your planner, as soon as you put it down, mate, you feel better, because you know, right, I'm going to do that on Tuesday, that on Thursday, that on Wednesday, that on Saturday. Boom, we're done. I've got it all done on time. I'm not worried about it anymore. When you get overwhelmed, mate, it's almost like overwhelmed. Just it's an imagination. It's in your imagination. It's not a real thing. Overwhelm is like if you took somebody just jumped on top of you, mate, who was like 25 stone and started suffocating you. That's overwhelmed.
Yeah.
That's literally what overwhelm is. When you're overwhelmed by an actual thing, a force that forces you down, not an imaginary thing like, I'm overwhelmed, mate, and you're like, oh, are you? But nah, you're probably not, mate, because the other is just standing there, mate, with nothing on top of you at all. It's all in your head again. It's in that mindset, isn't it? But it's important to have tools to intercept the feelings that you're getting at that time. So it's all right for me saying to you, right, oh, next time you're overwhelmed, mate, all you need to do is write this down. But when people become overwhelmed, they'll forget that.
Yeah, that's it.
So you need to figure it. You need to try and tell them enough times so that when they start to feel overwhelmed, they're like, remember what Big O told me that time. When I start to feel like this, I need to write it down, I need to get it planned, I need to get it in my head. So you need something to intercept it before it gets too far and they just freak out.
Yeah, 100%, man, 100%. And one thing that I sorry, I just had an email come through, took my attention away there when it pinged in my ears. One thing that I've just started consulting with a guy in Canada, like same way me and you'll talk about things, and he sent me this big detailed form like for a call, like to get to know the business. And one question was, how do you like to be coached? Like, how can I coach you? Like, is it more this side? Is it this? And one thing I wrote in the form was, mate, I really thrive off one-to-one calls like this. Like, I like having homework. I like to know that I've got deadlines and I've got to complete things. Like, in terms of, don't just tell me what needs fixed in the business. Tell me it needs to be fixed by the next fucking call. So he gave me homework and he literally said, like, this first thing, this should be done in the next 24 hours. Like, this is the priority. Then the other two can be fit in anywhere. So I like having that, and maybe having that structure where you have a mentor like Chris, or I do a little bit. I don't do it at the same scale as you, but even if you've got somebody who knows how you like to be coached, how you can really thrive in that and just grow from there, man, it's massive.
Mate, I love the one-to-one calls. That's what I was saying. So obviously I know a lot of mentors like to go on about scaling, and scaling's cool, that's if you want to do, but for me, you lose that personal thing, mate. And I think the amount of time that I've spent, because I've got my own personal clients, like I said, for the last year, and every one of them get a phone call every week. The amount of stuff I've learned through that phone call every week for that amount of time, mate, it's like a PT in a gym floor. We try and encourage PTs not to do PT in a gym floor, but when you're new, that's where you learn your trade.
Yeah, 100%.
You should want to be an overwhelmed, busy PT on the gym floor for the first year, because then you can go online quite easily because you know the ins and outs of training. It's the same with this, mate. So there is mentors out there who have never really done one-to-one calls, but then they're selling stuff to people, and it's not going to work long term because, and it won't, I just guarantee it won't, because they don't know enough about the ins and outs of people's lives. They know the theory.
Mm-hmm.
They know the theory. They'll say, oh, if you use this strategy on Instagram or you use that strategy on Facebook, then your business will thrive. But they don't know what happens when that falls apart for the individual person. You can't teach that to a group. So doing the one-to-one calls, mate, is like, that's where I've got all my knowledge for and all my experience and everything. I know how to just change something quickly in an instant for somebody, mate, is in that call. I'll never change that, never. Josh and I have both agreed to stick to a certain amount of people in the programme, and then if anybody else wants to come on, we are in the process of building a programme like the one I just mentioned. Won't work long term, but it's for the short term until a space becomes available for the big mentoring, so they get something, mate, do you know what I mean? So they're just getting left to fucking freak out about business. So but the one-to-one calls, man, I'm working with, you know myself, I'm working with Paul Mott just now, and when I came off the back of one of his Zoom calls the other day, I was buzzing, and I went into my coaching call on Zoom, and I was fucking buzzing at my tits, mate. I was actually flying. And I said to him the next day, I says, mate, I was buzzing at my nut after that. When he says, I says, where do you get the energy for? Like, sometimes your energy's really high. Sometimes, I says, where do you get energy on demand? He says, when you're doing something you value, mate, that's when you're buzzing. See, when I'm on my one-to-one calls with the PTs, mate, I am fucking buzzing at my nut, mate. Like, every time. I love that. That's my favourite thing. So why would I stop it, mate?
Yeah.
Stop it 100%. So I can scale it and make more money short term and just make videos for people, which is cool, because educational videos are fucking important as fuck. But so is the one-to-one time, mate.
Yeah, 100%.
I love getting in front of somebody and we're just sharing ideas. We're talking. Man, see, I'm doing a full day of calls, mate. I'm actually buzzing the way up the road. I did it on a Tuesday. I'm knackered, don't get me wrong. At the end of it, man, my head's like, woof. But see, during it, mate, I'm just on fire. You're on fire, and they're all pumped and buzzing.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of scaling it, if you say that you've set a limit, right? You between you and Josh, you say, right, let's put a number on that's easy to work out, right? 50 clients, right? And you charge them, let's make a nice round number, right? 200, right?
Yep.
So those 50 clients paying you 200 a month is going to be able to scale, because once you hit 50 and you're fully booked, that price can go to 300 or 400 or 500. Yep. And then you've got the proof, because you're in their business and you're having such an impact on them as growth as a businessman, as a person, businessman or woman, and a person like outside of their business, that you've then got the social proof that you can then say, right, my rates are going up because I'm providing so much value here and I'm actually fully booked. We got our 50. So you can scale it in that sense where now I'm fully booked, next person in pays more. And then the income goes up from that. So there's not just the whole scaling via numbers. There's also scaling via service and by the value you provide, 100%. Right?
So that's such a, I mean, to be honest, I've never even thought about it that way, mate, but that's fucking amazing. Like, that just comes with chatting, mate. Like, if I never chatted to you, I wouldn't have had that. Yeah. In my head, I was just happy to go, like, we charge 400, that's cool, that's good. And then we'll get to 50 and I'll just keep delivering a top quality service. But in reality, mate, if we're delivering to these guys and it's phenomenal, they're not going to bother if we bump the price up 100 quid when we help them make 5, 10, 15k a month.
Yeah.
From zero. So, love
exactly.
it. Just learn something on the show.
Exactly, mate. And if people drop out for whatever reason, then new people come in at the new 500 mark, right? And then the business makes more money. You still got 50 people in, but the new people pay the new rate, and it's pretty good, mate. So I think, mate, we've been on probably about an hour. We just hit on my timer. I know we talked for about probably 15 minutes beforehand, catching up. So we've probably been on for 45 minutes. So let's round it out. Let's say the number one thing that you can take away from just out of what we've talked about, like what's the main thing that somebody can go away, no BS, no anything else, this isn't a big fucking BS pump up call. What can somebody take from this that is the main thing to drive them forward in business or starting a business from scratch? What's the main thing they can take out of this?
So you need to definitely work hard, work smart. So you don't like just work hard on the wrong things, right? You need to get at, especially at the beginning of your business. I always say this to everybody. You need to work to the point where you're too tired. You have to grow your business, and then you can start delegating to people.
Yeah.
Make sure you're working on your social media, your target market, and then reach out to somebody like the Big O, like myself, like any other mentors who you like their stuff. Because I promise you guys, this is not me selling. I don't care if I ever see you on my fucking mentorship or not. I don't care. I mean it in the nicest way. Reach out to somebody who's done something that you're trying to do, because I promise you it will change our business, because that's what changed mine. There's no way we'd be sitting here right now, mate, in the position we're in, if it wasn't for reaching out to mentors. So I can go on all day about like show up daily, which you should do, sort your target market, which you should do, but you need to get into somebody who has done what you want to do, and there's a peer group in there who will push you and drive you every day. I can't even. There's no point in me trying to give away like just a couple of like wee tips, which I did do anyway, but in reality you need to take that investment in yourself, because I just 100% promise you, if you find the right person, it'll do well for you and you'll go far.
Yeah, 100%, man. And I think this episode's going to go down really well, bro. So thank you for your time. Guys, if you're listening to this, please tag Irvine at Nitrafit, Nitrafit. Tag me, and don't forget, if you're listening on iTunes, to smash that 5-star button so that we can get continued quality guests and grow into this second series that we're going to do. We're going to try to get one a week moving forward so that we smash these goals and keep them going and become the biggest podcast for business, for mindset, for lifestyle, nutrition, training, everything. We're going to cover all the bases with this. So keep it going. Hit the subscribe button. Keep the 5 stars on there, guys. And Chris, thank you for your time, mate. I really appreciate it, and I can't wait to see how well this one goes down.
Cheers, big guy. Thanks for everything on. Thanks for listening, guys. Check out Big O Show. Woo!
Thanks, mate. Speak soon.
Catch you, mate.
Thanks for listening to The O Show with your host, Oren McCory. If you liked this episode, then please subscribe to the podcast wherever you're listening and share this on your social media. We'll see you on the next episode for more no-nonsense advice to help you supercharge your efforts in the gym, in the kitchen, and most importantly, in your head. See you then.